Hello, Soul Sister. Excited to have another episode this week. And this week we have Gina Daniels in the house talking about soulmate partners. Woohoo! I'm so glad to have you. I love talking about soulmates, how to attract your soulmate, how to get into the groove of it, the whole soulmate package. So we're going to be diving into that. Thank you for finding some time for us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Junie. And I'm so excited to talk to the ladies that are listening today and to teach them a thing or two about soulmate partnerships and finding the right one.
Ooh, the right one, which sounds like there might be more than one. Let's dive in. But before we do, I want to tell you about who Gina is, because Gina is amazing. She's a certified intuitive love, dating, and empowerment coach who has an innate sense of human behavior and an instinctive, you got to do my tongue twisters for that one, and an instinctive understanding of relationship dynamics. She is the founder of the Love Attractor program for heart-centered women around the world who want to attract in epic, lasting love. Who doesn't want epic, lasting love, right?
Absolutely.
And you suffered heartache, and after suffering your own heartbreak, you made it your mission to guide other women to success on their love journeys, because you are celebrating 22 years of marriage to your soulmate, which is amazing. And you've walked it, you've learned it, and now you share it with others. And I just also want to say that Gina has a compassionate, loving personality, which you will hear and see. And this is what she brings to the journey to help you on your journey. So I am so thrilled to have you here in this very juicy topic. So, all right, let's just dive in. Like, what do you consider soulmate partnership? Because you've already alluded to that there might be more than one. So what do you consider a soulmate partnership?
That's an awesome question, Junie. So, I want to start with what a soulmate partnership isn't. It isn't, right? And I think, first of all, when I think of like soulmate, or a lot of times when people hear the word soulmate, they think it's sort of like this unicorn sitting on a mountain with with a blue horn, and it's like something mythical that you may achieve someday, but if you're walking down the wrong place at the wrong time, you'll never meet that soulmate. So the soulmate's not a mythical creature. So let's put that.
So with that, you're saying they really exist.
They really exist.
Okay. All right. Cool. That's a good place to start. There is a soulmate out there that you can find. Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
Tell us more.
So I really think of a soulmate as a really deeply connected relationship. One where there's really a high level of consciousness about the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And one that's secure functioning, right? So when I say secure functioning, that's when someone like has your back, right? That you know that person will always be there for you, right? I hear horror stories. Like I had a client tell me once that she had a bout with cancer, and soon as her husband thought she had this cancer, he didn't want to go through it with her. And he was like, see you later, right? So in a secure functioning relationship, we always are going to be there. We have that person's back through thick or thin.
Okay. So higher consciousness, have each other's back. And I can say I've had a few of those people in my life. So would you say that there are more than one soulmate per person then?
Yeah, and again, another myth that I want to bust is so many women think, oh, well, I only had one, and Peter that I had a relationship with 5 years ago was my soulmate. So there's no more out there. There's no more out there, right? And it's simply not true. You could have like 10 soulmates in this world that are waiting to meet you right now.
So interesting. You know, as you're describing it and as I'm kind of taking it in, I'm just thinking about my relationships and how each of them had a different flavor to it and brought something to me or for me in this lifetime. And I think about soul contracts and how we come to this plane of existence if you're in this kind of thinking that we're here to expand and grow and learn, and how these people come into our life to support that. So would you say those are the soulmates?
Yeah. And, I think of a soulmate, like, have you ever heard the saying that people come into your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So you can have soulmates that could come in just for a reason or a season. So it doesn't mean that a soulmate has to be that lifetime partner, because there's maybe spiritual lessons that you needed to learn en route with each person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But with deep soulmate love, it tends to be the long-term relationships, tends to be.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. You know, we've been talking and you mentioned that there are stages that you go through that bring you toward that soulmate relationship. Can you share a little bit about the stages?
Yeah. So when I'm talking about stages, I'm talking about, like, what is it that you need to go through, right? Because you want to be ready for this soulmate. And, so often people try to jump those stages. They try to go all the way over here and they forget that there's stages that they must process and must go through, right? So the first stage is what I call the clearing stage. Right. And these are 3 C's. So the first one's the clearing stage. And in the clearing stage, we need to clear up our crap. Right?
Yeah.
And that's where you would do your shadow work,
Yeah.
Judy, that you
Yeah.
do, right? That would be an important part of that, right? Looking at, like, what have been our patterns, right? Because even though you have all these different relationships that you've been through, and I had several relationships that didn't work out, and I never look at them as failures. And I don't want anybody listening right now to ever look at those relationships as failures. They were just experiences that are taking you to your true love or your lasting love, right?
Yeah.
Experience that gave experiences. Now you know what you don't want, right? Sure. So
Yeah.
we're, first of all, doing our clearing work, we're going to look at patterns. Like, what are our patterns? Because you are the common denominator. If you've had like 8 relationships, 3 relationships, 5 marriages, 1 marriage, 2 live-ins, whatever it is for you, you are the common denominator. So you want to look at your patterns, or as you would say, Gina, your shadows that are there. And you want to maybe look back. Sometimes we have to look at that family of origin, like, what were the things that we picked up?
Yeah.
Our parents, whether it's good or bad, were our teachers in relationship.
Take a breath into that, sister. Our parents were the teachers and about relationship, and we were sponges when we were kids. Yeah. Yeah, for better or worse.
Better or worse, right? And one parent could teach you something beautiful that you have now, or is part of your relationship understanding. And they, on the other side, the same parent could teach you something that is either maladaptive or dysfunctional, or it doesn't work, or it's not going to bring you happiness.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's about looking back at the family of origin, where you've been, and what have you picked up on your relationship journey, right? Yeah. Right. So sometimes maybe your self-esteem might be in the toilet, right? We want to work on that.
Yeah.
Maybe our confidence isn't there anymore. If we went through a very difficult divorce or difficult relationship, sometimes our confidence has crashed out. So this is all in the clearing stage, right? Because we need to build a foundation for a house. We wouldn't just start laying bricks all over each other. And
that's the challenge. People jump right out there with all their baggage and all their experiences, and they're attracting somebody that is not going to be a great fit because they haven't done the work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, Junie. Yeah. And what I see with a lot of clients when they come to me, and I'm sure you see it with your clients too, Junie, is like they want to jump over to the dating stage.
Yeah.
Bring
Yeah.
me over here, right? I don't want to do all that kind of stuff. But if
Yeah.
you really want soulmate love, you've got to do the work.
Exactly. And I just also want to just say it's not about being perfect. I'm still doing my work, and I don't regret any of my relationships for the very reasons you said. It's like I learned a lot and it's taken me to the next level. And when I think back, if I did the stage that you're talking about, the clearing and the preparing, I would have really called in a very different, more conscious soulmate partnership way faster than I did, So I kind of was doing the clearing and the cleaning and the crap in my relationship. And then I called in more of a soulmate relationship because I did the work.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
And then once we've done that, so now we've made a beautiful foundation. We have a lovely foundation. We have a clean slate. We have a clean
Yeah.
slate. And I agree, like this work, we're always growing. We're always growing. We are souls on this earth having a human experience, right? So I'm expecting myself to keep growing even when I'm 99. Like this is not going to stop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just part of your journey. But next, after the clearing stage, you want to get to the clarity stage. Okay, the clarity stage. And in the clarity stage is when you get clear on who do you want?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want out of your life? Because partners look different, right? So you're going to want a different partner. If you envision your life and you're thinking, I want to travel to every continent and stuff. Well, it's going to change the kind of partner, what kind of soulmate that you're going to want, right? And when you've been in bad relationships, you forget what you want. You're so much in survival mode that you forget, like, what are your dreams? What were you thinking you wanted before
So
all the
true.
crap went down?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So in the clarity, you're going to get really clear on who you want. What is it you want out of life? And that takes time.
Yeah.
It's a little
And
time.
each stage of life has a different set point of clarity, because the clarity of what I wanted when I was 30 is very different than when I was 40.
Mhm.
Every few years, frankly, I always encourage people to keep getting clear, keep looking, keep asking, because life keeps shifting and we grow, and what we're wanting can change, and very, very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I just want to say something here. I look at, your 50s, if you're in your 50s and listening to this, as your second teenagehood, but now you got more smarts and usually more money in the bank, and you're just in this better place. And you still got your energy and your vibrancy. So this is a great time to begin again.
I would agree. And next month I turn 59 and I'm like, okay, bring on the 60s, and I've always said I was a hippie chick that was born a decade too late. So I'm looking at the 60s as a very different type of chapter, but I digress.
Yeah.
And yes, it's a very special time, because we are older and wiser and vibrant and healthy overall. Like we are in a good place. 50s, 60s, really yummy place to be. Yeah.
Absolutely. 50s, 60s is a great place to be, right? And in fact, I think it's a better place to be single than when you were in your 20s.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
So we have clearing and we have clarity. Was there another stage?
Yep, there's one more stage. Now that's the connection stage, right? That's when we're really getting out and we're hustling. We're putting ourselves out online. We're getting ourselves out in to meet men organically too, because I believe that we can meet organically and we can meet online. So that's the connection piece. And this is the piece where you would learn like how to be in your feminine essence and how to put yourself out there and how to be authentic, right? Because there's no point, I see so many beautiful, intelligent women, and they're pretending they're someone else on a date.
Yeah. Yeah.
You hear that too, eh, Junie?
Oh, yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. Be you.
It's so huge. I mean, that's the sad thing is, you meet people and everybody has their masks on. It's like, I want to look good and I want to present myself a certain way and, la, 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 la. In fact, I just started having a conversation with a Lutheran minister, and it's a funny story, just like the little side here. So we were on Zoom. I'm really digging this guy. I think he's amazing. And, we all have our ideas. We put people in boxes, right? And I'm like, Lutheran minister. And as we were talking, I was about to drop the F-bomb. And I was like, oh, I better say friggin', So I caught myself. And then I was like, wait a second. I say fuck all the time. And if I can't say fuck right now, then this is not going to work. And so, of course, what did I do? I said, you know what I just did? I just censored myself with you. And he was like, oh, I drop F-bombs all the time. So we were laughing, but I was being authentic. I was being myself. And I didn't like go, oh, I better like hide this because it's gonna come out. And that's that authentic, juicy place that allows connection. And that's what you're talking about here.
Yeah. Yeah. You need to be authentic anywhere from like your photos that you're putting online. Like, now we can just doctor up our pictures and catfish someone in, but there's no point because you're going to go on that date. You're going to see that person in person, right? And you want to be you, but you want to also be you with your personality. So I love that example, Junie, of you F-bombing it to the minister.
Of course, now I'm like, oh man, I'm always so careful not to like throw anybody under the bus. I'm like, okay, I now if we really go for it, I'm gonna have to like go, I kind of said something. Do I need to edit that out? Oops. Well, that's a good thing about editing. But anyway, yeah, exactly. We need to be ourselves. That's intimacy. We need to be authentic and true to ourselves. Otherwise, that's when the drama happens.
Yeah. Yeah. And, ladies, if you're listening, like how long can you keep an act up? Like really, if you're going to go in there and pretend you're extroverted and you're all this when you're really an introverted, quieter person, for instance, because you think, well, that'll go over better on the day. Yeah. Well, are you ready to do that for the rest of your life? Yeah, exactly. So awesome. I love that. Those are the things that you need to do, sister, if you want to call in your soulmate relationship. And for anything, like get clear out, get clear, and then you can have that authentic connection. So you use intuition to help people on their love journey. Tell us how one does that. That's a great question, because I believe the best decisions we ever make are a blend of, reasoning, sort of brain power, and the intuitive piece, right? Mm-hmm. And I think what happens with women, they have intuitive hits, but they ignore them. They ignore them in relationships. So how do we do that? We want to get very, very finely attuned to self, right? And for most women, intuition comes through feelings. Right? Most women, it does. I mean, there's some super highly attuned, intuitive people where they get visions, or they might feel things, or they might like have an inner knowing, or that type of thing where they can be super intuitive. But I think for the average woman, intuition is coming through feelings. And we have an epidemic of like shutting our feelings off or ignoring the feelings. Like, we might go, well, the guy just said he has a job, he's this, he's that. And we go, oh yeah, well, I'll just believe that, right? But your intuition's going bing, bing, bing. Yeah, bing. Yeah. It's not right here. Yeah. Or your gut is kind of going, I'm feeling something here. What is that? That trust thing, Yeah. Yeah. So I always think that you should tune into your feelings. That's really super important,
Mm,
right?
mm,
What is going off with your feelings? So you first have to analyze, like, or come to the conclusion of how does your intuitiveness come through to you? Like,
good
are
point.
you a feeler? Do you just feel things? Are you someone who has just an inner knowing? Does it just pop in your head like, you
Hmm,
know, I think the
yeah,
person's not telling the truth. It could be like that, right?
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Or maybe you're a visual. Maybe you get little flashes of a picture and you're like, okay, this person said this, and I just got a flash of a picture, and that's weird because they're saying that. So, what is your intuitive language? Because everybody's intuitive language is different.
yeah, makes
But I would
sense.
say most women have feelings. Can I just tell you a quick story about a client of mine?
Yes, please.
So she told me she got married probably around 20 years ago, and she was standing at the altar. She's standing at the altar, the poor thing. And suddenly she just got this overwhelming feeling like she should not be doing this. And
Huh.
right. And she should
Powerful.
not be doing this. This just came into her, right? It was like, but of course, you're standing at the altar, right? And she, in retrospect, admitted that these little intuitive hits were coming into her prior to that wedding. But of course,
Yeah,
she gets to the wedding, that boom. Of course, she has to ignore it because she's looking back. She sees her mom and dad there, and the whole, all the, the whole tribe of her people watching her
yeah.
get married. So she ignored it. And of course, within days of the marriage, of the wedding,
Mhm.
she knew she'd made a big mistake. What
Yeah,
she didn't realize was he was a huge gambler, huge gambler. He was very much in debt. And, and that's how her whole relationship, and he was gaslighting her, but she didn't realize that either. But if
sure.
she listened to that intuition, she would have known. And I think what I'm saying to anybody listening here today, if you get an intuitive hit, like, listen to it and get curious of, like, why is that coming up for you? Right. And then give some time to go by, like, to see if that there's something there for you, right? If
Yeah.
it's, because when your intuition is telling you something, I would like to say that there's little yellow flags and red flags kind of going up.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. You're bringing up so many amazing points about getting clear, clearing, listening deeply, all of that. And here's a soul sister that is wanting potentially to call in somebody. And a lot of the women are online right now,
Yeah.
which is an amazing tool. It's a wonderful tool. And I'm just curious, do you think you could find your soulmate online?
Absolutely. Like, a lot of clients come to me and they say, oh, I only want to meet someone organically, right?
Oh,
I only want to meet
always,
someone organically,
always,
right?
always, right?
Right, right. But listen, the online dating is like men in the sky. It is amazing. Like, we have something that our foremothers never had. Like, your great great grandmother, she was living in a farm, and she had a choice of 3 guys in the village that could be possible mates. Like, we
Yeah.
have people, you could match with people all around the world, right? If you
Yeah.
really think about that. So yeah, absolutely, you can meet soulmate online.
Beautiful. And I agree with you. There are great people everywhere. And if you are vibing and you've cleared and you're open and you've got these inner tools and support, it's everywhere. Just put down your phones at the grocery store. If you want to meet somebody organically, they're there too.
Yeah.
I know that you have a summit coming up. Can you share a little bit about that? And we'll make sure to put that in the show notes, because I know you're doing something really special.
Oh, absolutely. Well, my summit's called Lovable because I think too many people don't feel lovable or lovable enough,
Yeah.
right? And this is sort of about soulmate love, is finding your soulmate. And in this summit, I want to teach women, like, how to find soulmate that so you feel cherished, you feel loved, you feel heard, you feel seen. So that's the whole
Mhm.
premise about this summit. And I have some amazing speakers on there, like you, Junie. You're going to
I
be on there too.
Yeah, yeah, no, you have a great lineup, and it looks amazing. I highly encourage everybody to go in the show notes and sign up for this event, because we do need to feel that to be able to attract somebody. And I'm just curious, are those the qualities that you would say we look for to know that we found our soulmate, where we're feeling cherished and taken care of? I mean, like, how do you really know if you
Yeah.
found your soulmate?
Well, one of the things that I would say, yeah, absolutely. Those things for sure. You want to feel seen. You want to feel heard. You want to feel cherished, right? Those are like some main principles. But one of the things when you know you found your soulmate is you feel inner peace,
Yeah.
right? You're not all like, oh, what's happening here with him? And why isn't he doing that? And stuff like that. Now, remember, you feel inner peace as long as you've done your clearing work, right? Because if you have an anxious attachment style or anxious avoidant or whatever you may be, you want to work through that so that you're at a secure level. So if you're at a secure level and you meet your soulmate and you're dating your soulmate and stuff, you're going to feel peaceful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So those are great things to look for. And I also know that you have a checklist called Reveal Your Soulmate Red Flags Checklist. So those are the things you're looking for. Tell us about how to be on guard for the red flags.
Yes, this checklist, this Reveal Your Soulmate checklist I spent a long time creating this checklist. So it's definitely something that you want to get. It is my mission. It truly is my mission in life to stop women from getting into the wrong relationships, right? Because I have been in the wrong relationships. I've been married before and I've been in the wrong relationships, and it's so painful, so painful. So with this checklist, I've got it sort of sectioned off, and there's what I call the super hot red flags. And those are the ones like, I want you to run. Like if you take one of those, you run.
Yeah, right.
Right? These are the ones like, I run, I don't even ask questions, right? Like
Yeah.
maybe say physical abuse or something like this, right? But there's a whole list of them that I want you to look at. And then there's sort of regular red flags, and there's quite a few of those too, things that you want to look at. And when you're looking at the regular red flags, I just want you to pay attention, right? Pay attention, make a little note in your head and go, okay. So
Yeah.
then you gotta, you don't have to go off in paranoia, but you've got a little aha in your head. And then you get curious and you observe and you see, is this showing up again? Right? Because we're human. We all make little mistakes here and there. Or if you bring that red flag up to somebody in a feminine energy way, do they acknowledge it? Oh, I'm sorry, I was in a really bad mood yesterday and I shouldn't have spoken that way to the waitress, for instance, right?
Yeah.
But then you notice it doesn't happen anymore. It was a one-off, right? That's okay, because you've just taken note of it. But
Mhm.
there, with the red flag thing, if you're seeing things happening again and again, then it's time to move on. This is not a soulmate for you
Yes.
yet, right? So, and the third part to this red flags checklist is red flags about you.
Bum.
Red flags that you may be doing, right? Because you could be meeting a soulmate type of relationship, a man, right? And you may be doing the little sabotaging pieces. So it there's an itemized list of those. So you can take a look, and you got to be honest with yourself, because you're reading it. You're the only one that has to see your red flags checklist, what you've checked off.
Yeah.
And then from that space, you can go, okay, I need a little bit more work here. I need to get the help of a coach. I need to get the help of somebody to deal with this stuff that maybe I didn't deal with. And to have a healthy, soulmate type of relationship, you want to clear out that stuff.
So important, all of those. And one of the things, so definitely grab it. It's in the show notes. I want to mention something. You brought in the word honesty. And to me, it is like underline, honest with yourself is so huge. And it ties into everything when it comes to calling in your soulmate, attracting your soulmate, being honest with what is important to you, being honest with what feels right, not pushing away. Like when you were talking about the intuition, it's like if your intuition's going, you know, that's not, you're not being honest with yourself, you know, be honest with something doesn't feel right. So I am so excited to do your checklist because I'm always open to learning more. And I know you put a lot of time into it. So I'm excited to look at it. And yeah, being honest with all of it, because that will bode well in calling in next level love. So love it, love it, love it. Any other final words that you wanted to share?
Yeah, you're bang on, Junie. And the more honest that you can be, the faster you will get to your soulmate love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take a breath into that. The faster it will happen, the more honest you are. Seriously, it's so true. Because if you start making up all these stories like, well, he's okay, let me see this through. That's not so bad. Let me sweep that under the rug. Like, think about how much time we waste making excuses and not really dropping in. So it will go faster. So get clearing, get the clarity, get the connection, do the checklist, and do check out her summit. For those of you that are listening in current time, it's happening really soon. So definitely check it out. And thanks, Gina. This was amazing.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, lots of non-unicorns. They exist. They're out there. And so, yeah, so such a wonderful segment. All right, Soul Sister, that is our episode. I hope you're feeling inspired and hopeful and open to finding your soulmate. You've got some golden nuggets here. Share this with your friends if you loved this video and got some good value from it. And as always, I really encourage you to like it. So like it, you know, click that little thumbs up button so the algorithms will say, yeah, this is something to watch, because we want to spread this message out there of hope and love and expansion. And yeah, we want to just keep this going. So until we meet again, mwah.